Before I get started with this video, I want to note that if you are a hardcore Windows PC gal or guy, you might be triggered by this one. And if you are, I feel bad because you shouldn't care what other people's choices are. Hey there, real gamers and all you gatekeepers out there. Retro Rob here, and I am recording this right now on my brand spanking new MacBook Pro 14, which may come as a surprise to many of you because if you watch this channel regularly, you know I swore off Macs about a year ago. And this video is that story. Before we get going, I want to mention something. None of the laptops described in here are victims of abuse. I keep my laptop basically right on my desktop about, I would say it's probably in excess of 95% of the time. I don't carry it with me. I've got a work laptop that I bring to work, so I don't need it for that. And I've also got a tablet that I use for light browsing. So really my laptops just stay there on the desk. It's just in case I need to bring it somewhere that I have it as a laptop instead of a desktop. That, and I mean, just who the heck buys a desktop anymore? Yeah, all right, hardcore gamers, I know you guys do. But anyway, none of these are victims of abuse, and I want to start with that right away because I know I'm going to get a bit of that with the wide variety of crazy stuff that has happened to get me to this point. But anyway, I guess we'll start at the beginning.
Thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, or I will go Skynet on your butt.
So this story starts a little bit over a year ago, and at that time I was sporting a good old Alienware 17R2, which I'd had for about, probably about 2 years. I was right on the edge of 2 years with it, and it was working great. I had an RTX 2070 in it. Had 16 gigs of RAM, no problems, solid state drives. It was a good performer and I was enjoying gaming on it. I also had a MacBook M1, which I enjoyed just because I could kind of throw it around with me and use it to sketch things up. There's a program called Pixelmator that I really, really love for creating my covers, and I don't use it anymore. Well, actually, I'm probably gonna be using it again, but I really, really liked it that much that I was willing to keep the Mac around just to do that. Plus, I like doing the Mac videos, those types of things. It was great for video editing, but generally, I was just doing most of my work on the gaming PC at that point. And I decided, I think it's probably time that I not have two laptops. And I just go with one. And in the end, I decide, I'm really not that dedicated to using the Mac for anything but that one program. And the rest of the time I'm spending using the gaming PC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a smaller PC gaming, PC gaming laptop. And I'm going to get rid of the Mac. And then if I need to take it somewhere, I'm not, lugging this big 17-inch beast with a jet engine strapped to it around. And I'll be happy. And so I chose, man, I just can't believe this is all not, just a little bit over a year ago. I chose a Razer Blade 14. And I think the important thing was that this is still during COVID, where there's a lot of lockdowns still going on. And it was hard to get PCs for a while, during and a little bit after. And I could only get an open box one. I bought it off of Best Buy. Had it show up. I'd already got rid of the M1 Mac because it was, I was only going to lose a couple hundred on that. But I cleared off my 17, got everything on the Razer. It was great for about 3 days, and then it started freezing up, and it was bad. It first started in games, and these small form factor machines, they're gonna freeze up every once in a while. That's kind of a granted in the gaming world because you're you know, they're hot, man. That thing was running a 3070 in it. So I understand that happens, but then it started locking up on the desktop and got worse and worse. And after less than a week, I decided, well, this thing's gotta go. I couldn't trade it for the same thing, so I had to hunt up another laptop. And for my second one, I chose the Asus ROG Zephyrus 15, which I also loved. By the way, beautiful design on that thing. It's a very, very pretty laptop in my opinion. Just nice looking. And that one made it. I think it made it about 2 months. And I was super happy with it. I mean, really, I did like it. And that one, I will say that I did move that around a little bit more than usual. I did bring it to a LAN party maybe once. But that's more than I usually would do with them. And that one, left hinge, utterly failed on it. By the way, I'll put a link down below. I've got that chronicled. The Chronicles of Zephyrus, and it was pretty disappointing. It ended up I couldn't exchange it. You know what? That one I bought off of Amazon, and I couldn't exchange it for that reason because Amazon would not take it back after about 2 months. And one of the recommendations I made in the Zephyrus video is, you know, just unless you're really sure about it, don't buy it off of Amazon because the return policies are very strict there. They don't really help you. I think they offered me like $500 for it. So anyway, off it went to repair. I had an extended battle with them to get them to actually cover it. And I want to note, if you watch the video, you can see that there was no physical damage on the outside of the machine. The hinge literally broke off on the inside. It just literally just came off in there. And you could see that there's no damage to the outside of the unit. It didn't get impact damage. There's nothing. I mean, nothing. No dents, no cracks, no nothing on the outside. It literally just broke free of it. And they tried not to cover it. So I was in a big battle with that. So I ended up buying yet another laptop. While this is going on, I figured, well, I'll give it to my kid, and then I'll sell the Alienware because I'd given that one to him. I'll sell the Alienware. He can have the Zephyrus when he gets back. So Zephyrus is we'll just throw that away now. You can watch the video if you want to know more about it. But it did get returned and it did eventually get repaired. But I had a big hassle with it, and I did not have time to deal with it because meanwhile I don't have a laptop at this point, other than my work one. I don't really like using my work one for home. So, I mean, you can live with an iPad for a little bit. You limp. But anyway, sorry this is so talky. Just getting it all out, man. So I replaced that with the MSI GS76. My thinking here was, look, I got two like tiny form factor machines, both of them failing pretty quickly, right out of the box. So I'm gonna get something bigger. Maybe that's gonna resolve my issues. MSI GS76 number 1 fails in 2 days. The video went out on it. I didn't even mention this, by the way, on my channel. I was so frustrated with this whole process by that point that I didn't even mention it on the channel. But it fails within 2 days, and I have to exchange it for a new one. Which, by the way, took another week because, they didn't have it in stock. So that's a special order one. The specs on the 76 are pretty good, man. That sucker's an i9, 32 gigs of RAM. That one also has a 3070 in it. So it's a pretty chunky machine. And so GS76 number 2 shows up, and that one works great and keeps working and working and working for 10 months. And it was probably last Sunday, all of a sudden I noticed there's 3 little. By the way, did I mention how the first MSI failed? The first MSI failed because the video quit working. It like when you went into a game, it would just scramble everything. Yeah, of course I tried restoring it. By the way, on almost every one of these that had like a problem where you do a system restore, I did those. I mean, it's, you know, I've been a tech for 20 years, so, you know, been in IT anyway for 20 years. I was a tech for about half of those, so I know enough about computers to restore this stupid thing. So I did that on all these that had like weird things like this. So yeah, so it's the first one, yeah, video failure. It just would really freak out when you're playing a game. I mean, it just like stripes and stuff all over the screen. It was crazy. But anyway, so number 2, Sunday. I'm actually on the Xbox. I turn around to do some browsing, take a look at the screen, and all of a sudden, I notice there's 3 lines horizontally across the bottom. Like, son of a gun, you know? 3 horizontal lines. I'm at 10 months, you know? And I decided, well, I'm not going to live with it because, I mean, for crying out loud, that isn't a cheap laptop. I paid like, I think it was $2,400 for that one. That was like and all these are like $2,000 laptops, you know? I'm not paying for them every time because I'm, you know, returning them, but still. It's an expensive laptop. I'm not going to put up with that. You spend $2,000 on a laptop, you expect it to last a couple years at least. You know, I mean, gaming laptops don't have as long of a lifespan as other ones, but still, 2 years at least. But anyway, yeah, 3 lines on the bottom. So I go into Best Buy. I've got it in its box. I've got everything. Oh, yeah, you know, you have to clear the hard drive too. You know, every time I'm clearing the hard drives on these things. I had a second one installed in it, so I pulled that out, formatted the thing, you know, restored to factory. Lines are still there, of course, because that's a hardware issue, pretty obviously, although I always do test the software just in case. I'll reinstall the OS just to make sure, but that's never seen it not be hardware. But anyway, it's packed up. It's I'm going to Best Buy. Fortunately, I have that. I have Best Buy's. Oh, wait a second. Let me go get that. Total Tech. Total Tech is the name of the Best Buy product I was talking about. And it's kind of nice because it does have a lot of different features to it. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, but I did buy a new TV for the bedroom, and they installed it for me. I'm not talking about setup. I'm talking about actually mounted it in the wall, knocked a hole in the wall, ran the wires down inside the wall, and then, ran them back out. So they did all that for free. I had to pay for the parts, but they did the labor for free. And then also on my Total Tech, I had them put remote locks on my my 2019 Tacoma because it came brand new from the factory with no remote locks. Sometimes I undercut myself. I gotta tell you, I'm sorry I'm segueing into this, but sometimes, man, I hose myself. If you're buying a vehicle, don't chintz on stuff. In my defense, I was trying to get like the cheapest 4-wheel drive I could get, and I succeeded. I think I did an amazing job of getting a deal on it, but man, I probably should have splurged on the remote locks. That is a base feature. Anyway. They installed those for free too, although I had to pay like, I think it was only like $80 for the module, so it's like the cost of those things is all in installation, so free installation. But finally, the third thing you get is a much better return policy, and that's where this comes in because I'd had the laptop for 10 months. I went into Best Buy. I had like original box, because I tend to keep my original boxes. I had the original box. I had all the receipts and everything from it. And went up to the Geek Squad counter. By the way, I worked for Best Buy as a tech before the Geek Squad existed. But anyway, went up to the counter and showed them the problem. They agreed, yeah, this is hardware, especially since I, reformatted the thing anyway. And then I said, look, I got to go talk to a manager because I don't want this to go to service center. I need to get this. I need to get this taken care of today because I've had enough over the last year or so with these laptops. And I talked to the manager and I said, look, we got to negotiate something because I don't want to be out another couple weeks without a laptop. And this thing has been a big pain. This is the second one. I've had problems with that one, had problems with the one before it, which, by the way, I think the first one, the Razer, I bought off of Best Buy too. And there's a record of that. They can check it out. I said, look, I'm here all the time. Please do something for me. And Best Buy did. They gave me a full refund on it. I mean, it was store credit, but it was still a full refund. And I considered getting another gaming laptop. And because I like them, but to be honest, most of the gaming I've been doing has been on the Steam Deck, and I don't play as many games on that desktop as I used to because of the Steam Deck, because it's like way more mobile. So I thought about that, and I thought about the problems I've been having over the last year. I said, an aluminum frame would be nice. And to be honest, I've had probably 5-6 Macs in my lifetime, and not one of them has died prematurely. In fact, I've got one from 2011 laying over there that I plugged in the wrong side of an amp one day and blew the whole sound system out, but it limped along for another 5-6 years after that. So anyway, the Macs are really reliable, even though they have their own glitches and annoyances, and they're not the best game. They're not the best for playing games, but they can play some, and I'll definitely be doing that on the channel. But anyway, that's how I ended up back in Mac. I mean, it wasn't planned, to be honest, and I hadn't really been considering changing back, but in the end, I really just want my stinking laptops to work, and Apple's pretty good at making laptops that keep working. A couple things I have noticed on coming back. It's only been a year, but they've apparently straightened out a lot of the weird bugs that used to drive me nuts on it, especially like with OBS and your ability to monitor audio when you're recording from a video source. Say like my HD 60S, I used to have to throw in some extra third-party software to get monitoring at the same time that I was playing a game, but now that seems to all work right out of the box with OBS, so that's pretty nice. That's a big plus. Can't think of a lot of other ones, but I'm happy enough to be back. Pixelmator's there. I guess I can console myself with it. Anyway, I'm sorry that this is a big rambling wreck of a video. If you enjoyed it for some reason, please do me a big favor. Thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in a couple days. Bye.